Good morning and welcome. My name is Elizabeth Padilla and I'm from San Francisco, USA. And I will be your MC for today. So, a little bit about myself. I've been teaching and practicing Raj Yoga meditation with the Brahma Kumaris since 1985, and I'm serving out of a retreat center just north of San Francisco. And I can't believe that my journey has brought me this far. It's been a wonderful journey, and here I am with you today. I would like to know who was here last night, who attended last night's program? Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you for coming again. So last night, for those of you who weren't here, was the first part of 3 programs. And the first program is about stepping back. Today, it's about stepping in. And this evening, it's about stepping outward. And last night, we learned about stillness, and we experienced and explored stillness, a still mind, and the steps in maintaining that stage in any situation, any situation. And so if you imagine that still place of your mind to be like a lake, calm, cool, clear, and we dive into that lake, and in that lake are gems, treasures. And so today, we're going to link those treasures through vision, emerging that vision. A vision is like a bridge from the subconscious into the world. And so what vision do we have for ourselves, for our families, and for the world? So, now I would like to invite an amazing artist, Vinay Hedge. And last night he presented with us an amazing illustration of the world. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Vinay. I'll tell you a little bit about him. Vinay Hedge is a performing artist and speed painter, sculptor, and an animator based in Bangalore. He is a graduate from Vancouver Film School, Canada, with specialization in 3D character modeling and texturing. And he has a Jedi Masters from the Lucasfilm Animation in Singapore. Vinay Hedge is currently working as a CG artist and has been a part of many movie projects by DreamWorks Animations in India and Lucasfilm Animations in Singapore. Vinay has stretched the boundaries of art by combining his talent with the newest upcoming scientific technology. Some of his latest innovations include glow art, glue art, and cosmic splash. These art forms fuse creativity and fine artistry with technology. So today, Vinay will be presenting Cosmic Splash, virtual painting on air. Watch how technology translates the painter's imagination drawn in thin air. Vinay.
Om Shanti and welcome. Come, let us get introduced to ourselves. All of us are living in this world that is full of sorrow, misery, stress, and fear. For ages, this is all we have seen around, heard, and done. We have imbibed these negativities within us and mistakenly now consider this as our natural nature. We tell ourselves that this is how we were and this is how we will be. We have led ourselves to believe that our ancestors were also similarly sad and that we have no alternative but to live a sad and stressful life. Our conscious mind is so smeared with hate, fear, worry, and depression that there is no ray of hope visible for miles. Our mind is now filled with vices and the negative images that have made home in our mind are now being reflected in our face. Our appearance and expression is now tainted with these negativities. But this is not the truth. If this is not the truth, what is? In order to get this answer, let us self-introspect. To know our true identity, let us go within and not look for it outside. This is a journey on which we need to embark. We need to penetrate the layers of negativity on our mind and dive deep within to reach the treasures of virtue hidden deep within us. Once the sparkling fountain of virtues, qualities, and spiritual powers gushes forth from within, our true innate nature will be revealed. We will experience happiness, peace, bliss, fearlessness, spiritual power, contentment, purity. This is the truth. This is our original nature. This is how God made us. We are all pure souls residing in the center of the forehead. Experience this. This is our true nature. This is the truth. Peaceful and pure soul. Oh, I feel empowered to see the truth. The path is now clear to me. I am a divine soul. Separate from this body. I am complete. I am complete with all virtues and qualities. Happiness, bliss, contentment, and harmony is my true nature. I am a king, the ruler of this body made from matter. I am the master of my 5 sense organs. My mind, intellect, and sanskars or impressions are all in my control. I am a ruler of my inner world that is prosperous with positivity, friendliness, compassion, and humility. I have now mastered the art of successful living. I am always calm and tranquil in all situations. I always hold elevated thoughts in my mind. When I interact with others, I now see them as pure souls, playing their part through the body. My fragrance of divinity is spreading throughout the atmosphere, and the nature is now charged with purity and harmony. I am a sparkling star in the center of my forehead. My vibrations are spreading all around me in all directions. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Vinay Hedge, artist, designer, innovator, and theologian. Thank you, Brother Vinay. Thank you. What a beautiful way to show how important vision is, wouldn't you say? Because that's where seeds are planted. And I would like to actually ask, how many here are from other countries, some representatives of Brahma Kumaris here? Please stand and say hello to the audience. Could I have the house lights, please? Welcome. They're in the back as well. You'll have a chance to meet them personally at the end of the program. And so now you'll have a chance to get to know some of the double foreigners, and we have a lovely interview where we can ask some questions and begin to create a more personal experience to explore the journey of those who have served abroad. And so I'd like to invite Neville Hodgkinson onto the stage. Neville. And a little bit about Neville. He's a writer and a journalist based in Oxford, England. His full-time positions have included social policy correspondent of the Times, medical and science correspondent of the Daily News, health editor of the Sunday Express, and medical and science correspondent of the Sunday Times. And so now I'd also like to invite our sister, Sudesh Didi, and she is our European director based in Germany. And you'll get to learn from her. She's been in Europe for 45 years, serving all the centers there. Didi Sudesh.
Good morning, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be back with you. Last night's session was very varied and very exciting, and as you've heard, it was about going within, awakening something within, and then today it's more about building that inside, and then this evening about bringing it out into the world. And it's a special privilege and pleasure for me to be with Sudesh Didi, because she played a very central part in my own spiritual awakening. She has been a meditator for some 50 years. She's an international broadcaster, teacher. She runs centers throughout Europe. She's as the European director. But above all, she has traveled the world, and often she's been like a light that has somehow touched others. You know, like a little candle that touches others, and so many people, consequent on Sudesh Didi's visit to their land, have actually begun their own journey of spiritual restoration. And she'd come to London, England, in 1974, a part of the first group of Brahma Kumaris to leave India. And from there, service spread to 130 countries. So this was the very first center outside India. And Didi was a part of that team. In 1981, in the middle of my journalistic career, I came along to a center, and Sudesh Didi was there, and one or two other sisters told me something about what the Brahma Kumaris understood, and I didn't really get much of it because I had a very materialistic, scientific viewpoint at that time. And then they said, well, practice a little meditation. And Sister Sudesh was brought in front, and she just sort of silent and looked at me, and something shifted inside me, which I'd never had an experience anything like this before. And I'd like to know from Didi what was going on. I don't think I've ever asked you this question. What was going on that something lit up inside me like that?
As it was meditation session, silence, and in silence, those who were present, including myself, we were aware of it's the inner self, the being, the truth, is actually has the power of stillness. And there's no question mark in it. Yes, will it happen, or no doubt, no fear, no any kind of comparison. So there's no negative energy in the power of truth. And here meditation is actually being myself, a true being, a living being, believing in myself, and with that vision, seeing others also, the same living, pure beings. And so these waves, this is just like inner light, as you said, the light touches the light. A candle light is lit. That candle can lit 100 more candles. Its own light doesn't reduce it. It actually produces the encouragement and the energy in others as well. And so that was at that time the atmosphere. So many were meditating, those who were present there. These vibrations are like the waves, and that makes mind cool down, still, because positive energy has the power to transform. And when we believe that I am a living light, it's a natural power in the light. Light never fights to dispel the darkness.
It's like a switch.
Yeah.
It goes on,
Yeah.
and the darkness is off.
Right.
That was what the experience was like.
Yeah. So that is just becoming aware. This awareness is switching on and maintaining. When the switch is on, remains on, then darkness is not interfering.
But how was it that your awareness was able to switch my awareness on in that way? Because I didn't understand what was happening.
In fact, you have potential in you, just like I gave the example of a candle. A candle has that potential. It has actually the power to ignite itself. And all three things emerge without touching others. Like the light, candle light is lit. As soon as it is lit, the fire has already emerged in it, and the form has emerged in it. So it was thought of seeing myself a soul and you a pure being light, ignited three powers within you which are already there. That is the essence of the soul, existence of you. Who is using this body as Neville Hodgkinson? But in fact, you are a soul. And so mind automatically connected with positive energy, it became silent. Intellect enlightened itself and began to believe that, yes, it is, I'm not imagining, something I'm experiencing. And this experience, which was in the atmosphere, ignited your own personality.
The experience was definitely unquestionable. But I remember that because I had this materialistic scientific outlook that said that consciousness is a product of the brain, you know, that the mind is just a product of the brain, I couldn't understand how this could have occurred, because there was this kind of connectedness. It didn't support that view of myself as a brain who had a mind. Rather, there was something that entered me and ignited within me that was different from the brain.
Because that was the truth. Brain is the part of the body. Of course, the mind is using the brain. Just like the heart is the part of the body. So mind is also creating the feelings in the heart. In a body, there is a heart, but it is the soul that is using the mind, brain, sense organs. So whatever thought is created, it is processing through the brain. And that creating then feeling of this energy, negative thinking or positive thinking. And that is what it becomes, the aura or the energy around that person.
I've learned since how healing it is to have this experience. It's as if the 75 trillion, the estimates vary, but that's one figure, of the number of cells in the body. When a field like this bathes the body, the whole body is benefited by it. It's very uplifting. It's amazingly very refreshing for you physically as well as mentally.
Yeah, because it is connected. It is the soul, the living energy, is there in the body to express itself and experience itself. And so what was happening at that time, just igniting yourself, these vibrations, touch the mind, not the brain. And that, when mind creates the feeling, that is in the heart as well. So intellect got this is something different, because discrimination power is there in the intellect. And so you could immediately feel how the brain functions through different cells. And it is not the brain is experiencing, it's you are experiencing that stillness, that peace, that love. Not only peace, but all the qualities within the soul are there, which when we are not focusing on our own self, we begin to look at something getting from our body. or looking to get something from other people. And so it disconnects ourselves, means switches off our own truth.
That was very much the condition that I think I was in at that time, that because of not my understanding and awareness not allowing me to know about this inner being, I sought happiness through my role as a journalist. I wanted big headlines, through my family, through my work, through the senses, through eating and drinking, all of these things to try to find what you're saying is actually innate, that peace and that joy.
Yeah, it is because it's this is what the soul or the living energy is there to share, but in fact it is something that mixed in it. Because the joy of sharing is enormous, because what you are having, maybe in the worldly sense, it's a success and what achievement you have in your work. So you would like to share that joy with others. Behind is joy, and that joy expresses in different words, in a different language. So apart from, but what is meditation? It's not the words, it is the quality, it is the existence which is in that word. For example, peace. It's a positive energy is there. In that positivity is the expression and experience of peace. And then you become aware. It's so different than what, no matter what our voice is out, noise is there, but still one begins to connect with self, inner self. And that cools down the storm that was happening outside, which you perhaps would have brought with you. And this coolness created clarity. This is something different.
Definitely.
And that became experience. That's like a peace.
It's very amusing and clear to me now as Sudesh Didi explains it, but I have to say that at the time, because my brain was so full of other ideas, from my conditioning in society, with my work and everything, I couldn't really grasp it. So this was the beginning, a very powerful beginning of quite a long journey. So what is needed actually, do you think, in order to, because I think perhaps I was a bit of a hard case, because of all of this scientific materialism, and it's lovely that science is now rediscovering spirit actually in a very powerful way at the frontiers. But that's another topic. What do you think is needed to actually continue to emerge these qualities, bearing in mind that most of us, maybe not as hard a case as me, but most of us have this conditioning that causes us to see ourselves as bodies, as parents, as playing these roles, that we identify with things outside of us so much, and not identifying with this inner energy that is so beautiful. So what's needed to
exactly in
keep
fact,
emerging
in your question
this?
is answered already. Because because we begin to identify ourselves with the body that we received, the identity that parents make me aware of. So gradually I became so convinced, and I have faith that yes, I am so and so. I am a girl, my name is Sudesh, I belong to this family, I belong to this religion. So it was constantly feeding myself.
You had the same,
yes,
but in a different way.
Different, yeah. So feeding myself the information they gave, and not only that, I believed that. And this is how I interacted with others. But when we get this knowledge of the self, we begin to believe the original qualities within myself. Because all these are the labels which I got after I got this body. But in fact, I am not this body, and I am not these labels that have been given to me. I begin to see the difference between two. And so then I begin to identify myself that what I was actually working for, or my desire also was to serve people, to help them, to give them experience of peace and some cooperation and social service. So what I wanted to share with them, it was not the gross things. It was the inner desire of the soul to experience peace, experience love, experience happiness, experience respect. These are not the material things, these are metaphysical things. And the metaphysical being actually has those things, but because of the influence by of others, have just covered it and gradually reduced it and actually shifted, in other words. Just like the cool water is cool.
Like a what?
Water is cool.
Like water is cool.
Now, it's I put on the fire to make the cup of tea. Now, gradually it has become hot. Now, the same water has adopted the quality of fire. But actually, the property of the water is, if you put water on the fire, fire will go down. Or if you put the piece of glowing fire in the water, fire will go off. But what makes it so boiling hot that it is burning me? How it changed its power of the cooling down the fire? It adopted the power of the fire and let go the coolness. In between was a pot. I make a cup of tea, the fire is there, water is there. Instead of water and cooling down the fire, it has adopted the quality of the fire. So this pot in between, exactly this identity in between the soul.
Very nice.
And the quality.
I can relate to that again also. Beautiful, isn't it? I can relate to that so much. I can remember feeling that as if my mind or my brain, whatever it was hot.
Yeah.
And these drops of cool that would come from sisters like Dee, when they landed on me, they would feel good, but it would go, it would like dissolve quickly, you know. So you had to persist in pouring those cool vibrations towards me.
But you had, because you accepted to be detached. If my water is still on the fire and I am expecting to be cool, it will not happen.
No.
So what I have to do, switch off the fire, and then water adopts its original quality of coolness without any effort.
Wonderful.
It's the cool air, adopting the cool air, accepting the cool air, and letting go of the fire.
So beautiful. What a wonderful start to today. So essence-full. Dee, could you give us a couple of minutes of experience of something like this that we can take away, a memory?
Of course. I've become aware. What am I? Who am I? In reality, I realize I am a living being, pure energy, which has the power to think, understand, experience and express itself. What I want to think, because thinking is creating feelings in me, feelings going deeper in me, creating experience, and experience generating vibrations. I realize I, the living energy, have natural inner potential or qualities of peace, of love, of purity, of truth, of bliss, benevolence. I love them and I respect these qualities, because love and respect are two sides of the same energy, my self-respect, valuing my quality, increases my value of life. And I share those values with others, with matter, with nature. Because the elements also have the power to take energy from the other element. Cool air gets the fragrance of the flowers. Fragrance can reach very far, while flowers can exist wherever they are. I exist, believe in myself, and connect myself with the source, the Supreme Being of all these qualities, and just being is experiencing, vibrating, giving. Sharing. This is respect of life, of myself, as well as respect and love for all. Om Shanti. Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Neville Hodgkinson and Didi Sudesh. What a wonderful explanation of self-discovery and understanding what is happening when we have a spiritual experience or experience of self. And if I could have the house lights up, please. I would like to invite the audience to share, actually. And if you remember, Didi Sudesh was saying that it's a wonderful experience in sharing, just simply sharing your story, and also in remembering our story. And what I'd like to invite you to do is to think of a time when you felt that joy for no good reason, a kind of joy where it felt good just to be alive. Can you think of a time where you were just feeling happy and light and easy, and maybe some situation had happened, or maybe there's a story tied in with that? Can you think, can you? Yes? No? Yes? And what I'd like you to do is to turn to someone, and ideally to turn to someone you don't know very well, and share that story. So just think of a time. It could have been in childhood, it could have been yesterday, and just to recall that experience of what it's like to be in that joy of just being. So why don't we take a minute? I'm going to give you 2 minutes. So each one gets a minute to share. And I'd like you to turn to your neighbor, if you could do that, please, and get to know somebody in the room and hear their story and tell your story. All right? I give you 2 minutes. Ready? Get set? Go. Find a neighbor. Find a partner. Each of you tell. Come on. Everybody. I want yes, go for it. Please turn to a neighbor, even if you know them, and share a time where you experienced joy. You can even turn to your who you brought to the program. Really, just share a time where you experienced a joy of being, and it could have been playing a game when you were a child, or just having fun with friends. The idea is to recall an experience of joy, spontaneity, lightness, coolness. I'm sure you can think of a time, no? And be sure to let the other one tell their story. Well, share with someone in the audience. Okay, good.
It was a guilt, and because of her inspiration, motivation, I came out of that guilt.
Okay.
That's what I want to share.
Okay, we'll have a time to share a little later on. Right now, we're not talking about guilt, we're talking about joy. But I understand what you were relating, that you had an experience being released from those feelings. That's beautiful, actually. Thank you. So he was just sharing what it felt to be released from a feeling of guilt, to be liberated. Okay? So how did that feel? Yeah? It's just simply recalling, and the idea behind sharing is, one, to know that I'm not alone on this journey of recaptivating joy in my life, and also that I have that within me. I have a navigating system to joy. That joy is already there. And so now I'd like to present to you a wonderful expression of being liberated out of a cage, such as this gentleman was expressing, a cage of negativity, of guilt, ill feelings, and then what it's like to be liberated. And we have a wonderful dance performance for you by a sister from Brazil, and her name is Goreti Dunningham, and she's a designer, a fashion designer and journalist. She's the editor of Line magazine in Brazil and is the Brahma Kumaris Center Coordinator in Salvador, Brazil. She's also responsible for creating and designing cultural programs and exhibitions, and now she will perform for you a lovely dance. Please welcome Goreti Dunningham. Thank you, Goreti Dunningham from Brazil. Wow, that was wonderful. It kind of reminds me of that liberation that I had experienced when I first came to the Brahma Kumaris. And I would say that I had a very liberating, I guess, phase. Sometimes they call it the honeymoon phase. But I would call it a liberation, where you find those inner treasures within yourself, to self-discovery. And so now we'd like to do a little exploration and go through an experience together and through some steps. And we have Brother Charlie Hogg from Australia who's going to facilitate for us these steps. And I'd like to introduce him to you. He's been on this spiritual path for over 40 years. He came to the Brahma Kumaris back when Sudesh Didi was starting service in 1974 in London. And then he was one of the first teachers to take this knowledge back to Australia in 1975. Charlie became, yes, I said that. So his infectious laughter actually is a wonderful joy to be with. And his words of wisdom are in high demand all over the world. He travels to a lot of countries, and he just flew in from the Philippines just to be here for this program. So please give a warm welcome to Charlie Hogg.
Good morning, everybody. It is really such a great delight for me to be in this extremely beautiful gathering. And in fact, I have been coming to India for the past 45 years. I think I have been here perhaps 80 or 90 times, and I often call India my second home. Today, in this very lovely atmosphere, I felt I'd really love to have a heart-to-heart conversation about life today. And probably the most important relationship in life, the most intimate relationship of all, which is the relationship with me. And I've been a meditator, as you heard, for over 40 years. Every day I practice meditation. And one of the things that really touches my heart about the spiritual journey is that you look deep within to learn really who you are. And you begin to observe how your mind and your heart begins to work. What I've observed in myself, a very simple thing, is that when my heart is full of love, I find I feel different. Do you find that? I'm sure you do, because what I find is that I feel very easy about who I am. I feel very relaxed. I'm definitely more self-accepting. And the sense of self-value increases. And yet, on the other hand, I would say that when the heart lacks love, the mind can never rest. You know how sometimes your mind is agitated, it can never stop thinking. It's just like, it just constantly goes on and on. Because I feel when there's a lack of love in the heart, the mind can never stop. The first need in life is love. The first desire in life is love. And when that desire isn't fulfilled, a whole lot of other desires come to compensate that lack of love. And I honestly believe the world in which we are living in, when we lack love, we want material wealth, we want recognition, we want titles. All of those needs and desires emerge because the first need is not there. And sometimes I have the thought in my reflections that there's three sources of love in life for all of us: myself, God, and my family and my friends. For most people today, the relationship with the self is not very healthy, so not much love coming from there. For God, we have a lot of faith in God. Maybe we have love for God, but I wonder how much we really feel deeply loved and nurtured by God. So ultimately, for most of us, our one source of love is our family and our friends, and that's fine. But what happens when there's a problem in the family? When there's a conflict in the family, when there's a loss of a loved one? It's like my whole life goes into so much upheaval. What is spirituality? What is Raja Yoga? Raja Yoga is actually, in my personal experience, developing a rich, loving relationship with myself as a soul. And secondly, a rich, loving relationship with God. And when you lay that platform in your life, in your mind, it then begins to nurture a quality of self-value, a quality of self-respect, which I believe is the most important thing in the world today. If I can't respect myself, will I respect other people? What do you think? Will I? No. If I can't respect myself, will I respect society? No. If I can't respect myself, will I respect the environment? And this is the seed of so many of our social problems in the world today. Is it easy to have a constant sense of self-respect? What do you feel? Is it easy? I'm not getting any answer there. You know, I've had the fortune to travel to so many countries in the world. And I've met so many people, and so many who have the label of being successful. And yet, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor. And yet, when you dig deep into their lives, you find that deep down there's so much self-doubt. There's so much sometimes loss of self-value in the hearts of so many human beings today. And once I was actually teaching meditation in Australia, and I was talking to a man who is a self-made billionaire. And I actually said to him, well, why are you coming to learn to meditate? And you know, his very words to me were, I've been a complete success out there and a complete failure in here. And I said, why? He said, I'm not happy. He said, I don't feel comfortable with who I am. Often I define success as really feeling deeply comfortable with the sort of person I am deep down. And I want to actually just look at this question, because sometimes I think in life we develop self-confidence. We have so much confidence from our education to do things. So I'm able to pass exams, I'm able to run a company, I'm able to manage an organization, I can perform in front of other people. But do I like who I am? Am I comfortable with the sort of person that I am? Because this is the beauty of a spiritual journey, because it begins to heal this most fundamental relationship in life. And I often feel we need to ask my heart. Sometimes when we meditate, it's like I interview my heart. And if I was to ask my heart honestly, do I have a healthy relationship with myself? How do I treat myself? Am I loving? Am I kind? Am I caring? Am I forgiving? Am I understanding? Am I compassionate? All the things that all of you would believe should be a part of a relationship with your family and friends. Or am I sometimes highly self-critical? Do I find I have a lot of negative thoughts about myself? Do I find this habitual pattern of putting myself down, feeling inferior to other people? And unfortunately, this is more common than we think. And I often feel that the first relationship in life is with me. And if this relationship is unhealthy, it pollutes everything in my life. It pollutes my health. It pollutes my relationships with the family. It pollutes my performance at work. And so how important is this first relationship? And in my own personal experience, the whole journey of spirituality, the whole journey of self-awareness, the whole journey of meditation is healing this first relationship of life. What I love these days is the image that my mind is a sacred place. Today it's like my mind is bombarded with information. But actually it's the one place where you ultimately have full control. And I often think my whole life meets in my mind. If you think your thoughts, your feelings, your memories, your fears, your worries, your anxieties, your everything actually meets in your mind. And the whole quality of your life really depends on the quality of those thoughts which you are holding in your mind. The mind is a wonder. And I often feel most of us have been to school and university. We're well educated. Did you learn about your mind? Can I ask who learnt about their mind at school? I haven't seen one hand go up yet. I think that's remarkable, and it says a lot about our world today, because this is the seed of absolutely everything. Some scientists say that the mind can create 30 to 50,000 unique thoughts in a waking day. Now, please don't ask me how they counted them. I have no idea. Others say you can speak 125 words a minute, but you can think 500. You know how your mind's doing so many jobs. In psychology, they say that the mind is aware on 7 different levels at any given moment. It's such an intricate instrument. And really, we are coming to a time where we have to care and nurture and look after my mind and understand what quality of thoughts are going to uplift me and what quality thoughts are actually going to take me into some of those dark places which we would prefer not to go. And you know, in my own personal experiments in meditation, in my sacred space, what I have learned personally is that if I hold the image of myself as a temporary body, if this is my whole sense of identity, because the greatest influence on my thoughts is my sense of who I am, my sense of awareness, my sense of identity. And if I hold in my mind this sacred place, the image of myself as a temporary body, so who am I? I'm Charlie, I'm an Australian, I'm a male, all the labels of my body. I heard recently that Mahatma Gandhi once said that labels are for jars, they're not for people. I rather like that. But when I hold that, it breeds 2 children in my mind: ego and lack of self-respect. So when I hold the wrong image, the temporary image of the self, it will give birth to the I of arrogance, the I of superiority, the one that compares and thinks, I'm better, I know more, I am right. But when this I rules my sacred space, when it comes down into my emotions and my feelings, that is when you feel so easily insulted, disrespected, not valued, excluded. all these sensitive, all these emotions. So when these feelings start to flood in my mind, begin to understand I've stepped out of self-awareness. I've forgotten who I am. But the second child of this body-conscious awareness is lack of self-respect. I feel this is ruling our world today. This is the I that thinks others are better, others know more, others are right, others don't love me, others don't respect me, others don't value me. And when it comes into my feelings, that's when I feel so easily hopeless, inadequate, not good enough, unworthy, depressed. You know, we hear that there's an epidemic of depression in our world. In psychology, they tell us that depression is really like a sadness, that my dream in life to be loved, to be valued, to be respected hasn't happened. But spiritually, depression is like a mourning for the loss of my true identity. I live my life, I'm very educated, but I don't really know who I am. So I sow the seed of my temporary identity in my mind, and it keeps giving me these unpleasant feelings, these unhappy feelings. And this is why when I begin to sow the seed of the truth of the eternal self in the mind, my own experience, when you create thoughts that I am the eternal soul, just a point is a wonder. It exists, but it has no length, breadth, or width. The soul is so subtle. It sits in the front of the brain. I am the soul. And as I start to cultivate this quality of thought in my sacred space, I begin to reconnect with my true nature of peace, and I begin to develop a loving relationship with myself. To me, there is no more successful act in life than to rebuild and heal this relationship so that I'm not dependent on what other people think of me, what people say to me, what people's attitude or vision is to me. I live in my own self-respect. This is really the story of spiritual progress and spiritual growth. Of course, it does take practice, but it just needs a change of identity in my sacred space, and my sense of self-value, my sense of self-respect begins to emerge once again. And for me, how do I live my life? I move around quite a lot, but I'm committed to sitting in meditation in the early morning hours. And what I love to do, and it's like a nurturing of my inner self, I sit quietly and I begin to think, who am I? And I feel this lovely process of letting go, of withdrawing, stepping back from all the labels and becoming stable in the sense of myself as the eternal soul, the Atma, the living, the dweller in the front of the brain. And why this is so special is not only does my mind cool down, but I actually feel the presence and closeness of God. And to me, what is meditation? Meditation is almost becoming a soul, like a child, sitting in front of the light of God. And when I sit in front of that light of God and allow yourself to be loved, I can say from my heart, nothing will give you your spiritual power and your sense of self-value back than when I give myself permission to be completely loved by God. And this is the method of meditation I've been practicing for many years. And as I do, I found more and more inner stability and a rebuilding of a stronger and stronger sense of self-value and self-respect. And if I can just say one last thing, so many times parents concerned about children, it's natural, and often wonder when the child is struggling about feeling good about who they are. And they say, what can we do? What can we do? And you know what I found? The greatest gift you can give to your children, your family, when you stabilize in your self-respect and your self-value, automatically your children will begin to take that from you. There can be no greater gift from a parent to a child or a family member that when you live in that feeling, you will convey it automatically to those around you. So what I would like to do is, I'm going to sit in this chair over here, and I would like to invite you for a little bit more meditation. As you've been noticing in the program, we have something, then we go back to meditation, because we feel that meditation isn't something you do morning and night. It's an attitude to life. It's like a decision in life that I'm going to live as a peaceful soul. And so we meditate, we sit and meditate, but as I move around, I carry these feelings with me. And this is why I would like to invite you to meditate with your eyes open. And if we can perhaps have the vision of the light of God, and I will just offer a few thoughts. And if you would like to keep your eyes open and just gently rest your vision to the center of this light and follow the thoughts which are suggested. Let me sit calmly, quietly, with the determined thought, not just to listen, but to experience the thoughts suggested. Visualize your mind as a sacred place. Imagine a crystal clear bowl of water. So still, so clean, so pure. Whatever thoughts I put into this sacred place will create my experience. If I think of myself as a temporary body, that awareness gives birth to my old thinking. So in my sacred space, hold the image of yourself as a tiny spark. Sitting in the center of the forehead, in the front of your brain. Just feel yourself letting go the consciousness of your body, sitting so lightly in your forehead. In this sweet state, look through the eye of your mind to the eternal form of God, a radiant jewel of light. Don't allow any other thoughts to come, but move closer and closer to this light. This is the one relationship that is permanent. The ocean of divine love. And as a child, allow yourself to be completely loved. Just feel the vibrations of love emanating from this unlimited source. Feel them entering the core of your being. And as they do, observe how you feel. You feel light. You feel free. And you step back into the feelings of self-love and self-respect. This is not my imagination. This is not just a belief or a concept. This is a real, living relationship with a living being. The more I fill with this divine love, my self-respect will return. If each morning I wake and I become soul conscious and sit in front of God, the beauty of a more sustainable self-respect will return to my life. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Brother Charlie, for that wonderful experience. How are we feeling? All right? Yes? Yeah? Any new experiences for you? Or new insights on your life? Anybody? Would you like to share? You waved your, I saw you. I want to find out. Oh, of course, just a brief obstacle. So just briefly, let us know what new experience you have.
Yeah, during this meditation with this brother, I was feeling very calm, cool and peaceful and very happiness and you can say joy from inside.
So do you think you found a method for yourself to find that place on your own?
Yes, I find it's the method also. I'm already in this Brahma Kumaris from last 5 months, and it's also a very, you can say, excellent experience with me.
Okay. Thank you so much. What is your name?
Anu.
Anu. Anu. Thank you, Anu. So who's here for the first time? Could you raise your hands? Who's here? Okay. Who's here for the first time? Raise your hands. Would any of you like to share an experience or a new insight? Yes, sir, I see you. Please stand. And your name, sir?
I'm K.K. Gupta, Om Shanti. Really, it is a wonderful experience for me to know myself, because what I understand, to know yourself is the most important things. Once you know yourself, you can have more peace in your mind, and you have a self-respect also.
So for today, what new insight do you have for yourself? Thank you, that was lovely. But anything new that you experienced from anything in the program today?
I felt peace here, because once I close my eyes, so I feeling that inside something is happening. So I feel myself as a rest, you can say calmness. That is more important for me.
And valuable, invaluable, wouldn't you say? Thank you so much. Thank you. So anybody back here? Yes? Well, you shared last night. But I'm glad you were inspired again. Yes, anybody here? Okay. Yes. Well, okay. And then one last. Yes, what experience, new experience did you have? Please come.
Hello, my name is Preeti. Hello to everyone. Well, being from this country and having been grown up among spirituality, dabbled and been to a lot of places. I guess it's also got to do with what you seek. So, well, professionally, if I was to tell my name and what I do, that would limit me. So since the whole hunger for limitlessness is there, so I guess for today it's my first experience here at Brahma Kumari. I have been reading about it, watching it, and have friends who follow. And the only thing that I feel which joins everything together is the experience of peace, wanting love, affection, being just breaking all the other boundaries of who you are, what others see you as. And also, when I talk about spirituality with my whatever limited experience that I have, I would say it's, I do it every day. I meet people every day, they share things with me, and it's a world out there which is so beautiful, because when people shy away from sharing what they experience, it is, you're not connecting.
Thank you. That lovely that she shared her vision and how to see the world. Thank you so much. No, I don't know. I don't think we have time. I think we have to move on. So, but I'll catch you later, okay? Thank you. So as you can see, we now have a panel set up for another interview, and we have Neville Hodgkinson again with us, so please welcome him again. And we have Sister Luciana Ferraz from Brazil. And we have Awatif Sharaf from Kuwait. And Elizabeth Kotut from Africa. So welcome, and we will now get to explore the experience from around the world. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you for the beautiful session with Charlie and those experiences which were very powerful. I also have this feeling of how beautiful life becomes when we understand the interconnectedness between us and as our self-respect grows. Whereas when we feel bad about ourselves, everything seems not so good, doesn't it? We've got 3 people here now, very different backgrounds and experiences, and all of them have been working with this re-emerging of this, what we call this true self. And we're going to be finding out about their lives and how they changed from such different backgrounds. We've Elizabeth Katut, who actually, she's from Kenya. She was a Catholic nun in the Franciscan order for 12 years, and she's been serving with the Brahma Kumaris for 36 years. She's now based in Ethiopia. And our Tif Sharaf, she's actually from Bahrain, not Kuwait. There was a bit of a mistake on there. She's from Bahrain. She trained as a consultant family physician, also qualified in healthcare management, and she worked with the Ministry of Health for 34 years. She's a mother to 4, and 3 of her children are married with their own children, so she's a grandma as well as a doctor. And Luciana Ferraz, Luciana is a sociologist and an international lecturer, and she's also national coordinator for the Brahma Kumaris in Brazil, which is a huge country, and a lot of centers, I think, in Brazil. A lot of people have found benefit from the Brahma Kumaris teachings in that South American country. So it's great to have you such different backgrounds and yet these commonalities which we're going to be discovering about. So Luciana, I'm going to ask you to begin with. I know that you came from what you might call a very high family. Luciana's father, I met him once, a very distinguished gentleman, wealthy and very high values and a big contributor to society in Brazil. I know that you early on were trying to change the world through politics and justice. You had a sort of sense of wanting to make a social contribution. So having come from such a high background and with those good values yourself, what further did you need for your self-respect?
Thank you for your question. Yes, I think that I experienced in life everything that anyone could call as a good life. Comfort, traveling, a good family, good home. But still I felt that something was missing inside. And though I was raised in a Catholic family, there was something also that I couldn't adapt myself in the Catholic lifestyle. Not because of the way that they lived, but mainly because many things were just mystery, and they would not be able to explain to me. And as you said, I was someone quite intellectual and trying to understand the world, trying to change the world. And that answer of everything being a mystery without any answer didn't satisfy me. So I think that it was more of this quest for finding meaning in life to fulfill my empty heart, let us say.
And then something happened that led you to feel that a new way forward was opening out for you. What was that?
I think that first of all, when I looked for yoga and something different from what I was used in my life, and something completely new for my family, because my family didn't have any clue, any interest, any contact with any of the Eastern philosophy. India was a completely distant country that they never wanted to come. So when I started to have this kind of interest, it was, I think, that what triggered me, it was that though I had everything, and I had very good study in very good schools and the best university in Brazil, I was very shy, a very, very extremely shy person. just to imagine.
Knowing you now, I find that hard to imagine, but anyway.
Many people don't believe me when I say that, because I have had the opportunity to address groups of hundreds, thousands of people nowadays. But at that time, I was not able to raise a question in my classroom in the university with my colleagues. So afraid I was of the opinion of others, what they might think about me. Is it an intelligent question? Is it a stupid question? So I think that first of all, I looked for yoga and all these practices to find more assertivity, self-respect, and also self-control.
And was there an encounter with a particular group? I know you became engaged with Brahma Kumaris' work. What was it that led you to feel that that could be the way forward for you when you had this insecurity inside?
Well, it was very new in Brazil and in South America, because Brazil was the first country in that part of the world. So I didn't really choose to be part of the Brahma Kumaris. I was available, and Brother Ken, who some of you met yesterday, because he had a presentation last night, he arrived in Brazil not knowing one word of Portuguese. So I started to help translating the classes for him and the lectures. And so I just made myself available for him to start the work. And also, because, you know, he was new in the country, he arrived in Brazil with no money at all. I think that he had $200 when he first arrived. So the first students, we used to get together and pay for all the expenses. And in that way, I became involved in this service. And when I saw myself, I was caught up. Then I couldn't come out anymore.
Amazing. And then you must have been 35, 38 years, something like that you've been...
Yeah, I'm now 39 years associated with the Brahma Kumaris. Yeah. I came in with a very young age, at the age of 23.
I know that as time has gone on, that intensity in your nature that had caused you to be an activist previously and very intelligently engaged in social affairs, that same quality, it doesn't disappear because you become a yogi. It just expresses itself in a different form. So you've actually been one of the people who I think, along with Moira from Argentina, you've done a lot to help broaden the appeal of the Brahma Kumaris in that subcontinent.
Yeah, I think that when we came to the Brahma Kumaris 4 decades ago, it was an universe that it was very different, because all that the Brahma Kumaris knew were the ones from England, UK, the America, because it's the country #1 in the world, Australia, because at that time Australia had a very big contingent of BKs, and Germany because of the scientific background. But if you would say about Africa, Latin America, and you know, it was not known. So to make that to be recognized, to have space in the organization, we had really to grind, our space in this organization. Yeah, and I think that, I also had to do a kind of a shift in my way, because as you said, I had that nature of looking for justice in the world. And in the spiritual field, this is not so well seen. So then I started to have to work with myself, because one of the values that I didn't appreciate very much, to be sincere, was sweetness. I thought that to be sweet would be like stupid, you know? So, but then I started to see people like Daddy Janki, our main director of Brahma Kumaris, She's so loving, she's so peaceful, and she's also strong. And I could see that sweetness didn't mean to be subservient, and sweetness doesn't mean just to please people and always to say, Hanji. So I think that I still didn't get there. But yeah, I think that now I have some coat of sugar.
That's wonderful, yeah, that's really good. There's a saying, out of the strong came forth sweetness, so you're an example of that. Awatif from Bahrain, not from Kuwait. Awatif, you also had you clearly had a distinguished career in health and medicine. What did you feel you needed to attain a fresh vision of yourself?
First, Neville, I would like to say, now I know why you are taking all the interviews, because of the beautiful scene from here. You want to be here to see that beautiful scene. So that's why you are taking the interviews, to be here in a position to see this beautiful scene from here. So amazing, yeah. It is my pleasure and honor to be with you, dear brothers and sisters. So it came in my life suddenly when my husband was diagnosed as brain cancer, stage 4. And the doctors told me that he is going to live a period ranging from 6 months to 2 years. So at that stage, I felt really I needed help. I cannot afford to be weak because I need to be powerful to support my husband and to support my children, the 4 children. The last one was 6 years old. And so I came across a center for people touched with cancer in USA. And there I was introduced to the meditation for the first time. I liked the experience. I started meditating every day based on commentary, and I really felt I am gaining strength, I am gaining calmness in my mind, and more be able to be attentive and present in an accurate way in my husband's life. And when I went back to Bahrain, I discovered that there is a center in Bahrain, and from then the journey started.
I didn't catch that, sorry.
Yeah, I discovered that there was a meditation center in Bahrain, and there I started taking the course, and I experienced very nice experiences during meditation, and I still remember the 3rd lesson talking about connecting with the divine. It was an amazing session.
Right,
Yes.
So communicating with the divine has been the sort of the key that unlocked your own higher vision of yourself.
Definitely, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Awatif. I'd like now to pass to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, as a nun, you must have led a very disciplined religious and spiritual life. You were 12 years a nun, and you were in a Franciscan order, and St. Francis, the founder of that order, was a very wonderful human being, a very beautiful example of humility and many, many qualities. And so what more were you looking for? Did you see yourself as like St. Francis in some way, or what was it that you weren't finding in your previous journey?
As a nun, it was a very strict training. Even Brahma Kumaris don't give training like that. Really very strict. And a time it came when they wanted to send me away, because I used to ask questions. How can I become like Christ? How can I meet God? And at the end, I didn't ask anymore. And I wanted to understand that, and also to understand why people are not loving each other when we belong to one. I was having that question. And so I didn't have an answer. And then at the end, after 12 years, I told God, if you are really there, show me the way. So I was shown a vision of now I know it was Brahma Kumaris because they were in white. And in Kenya, they had a conference on origin of peace. And when I attended, I saw them, and of course, the question will come. They are Hindus. How can I go to them? But then I knew they expressed that we are all children of one. That answered my question. And I say there's something there. I need to find out more. And so when I went for the course, as you were told yesterday, the first lesson on the self, it was very beautiful, but I wanted to be sure that I am not, outside what I believe. So I will check in the Bible. Everything that we were taught, I go and research in the Bible, as I had read from A to Z, and I found out the answers are there, and so I said, this is fine. And then I did the course, and when I was taught to remember God, that was the experience that made me to be strong, even against the opposition of so many people saying you will go to hell, you are a devil. But because of what I gained, I couldn't step back. I just said I have to move forward.
That's so good to hear, because over my own time on this journey, I've come to understand that the great faith traditions, at their root, they have this common truth, but it has often got covered over by other things as the centuries passed. And so then you get quarrels and differences and all of these kind of things that come in. But when you go back to that core, that we're all children of one, that is so beautiful. I wonder if I could ask Awatif to lead us in a meditation on that, or on a related subject connected with our discussion, and perhaps contain something that people can feel, yes, this is something I would like to take with me and practice in my everyday life.
I would invite you to be in silence. And to remind yourself of the powerful being, of the master, of the creator being. And sit on the seat of the self-respect. With that awareness of the peaceful soul, you expose your spiritual heart to the silent one, to the divine. No need to ask what you want. He knows what to do and what to give. And imagine yourself holding that awareness of the Master Soul with the companion, the Silent One, while you are moving around in your life. Since you are the loving, peaceful being, express that, apply that to the people you are connecting with. Imagine yourself in that day, in your daily life, in your routine life, giving and expressing at the thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. This is the only way after connecting with the divine and the self, to really create new prints, new tracks in your subconscious. And with the awareness of being a master, you will take your responsibility to transform through being attentive, cautious, and careful, to just give and give. And you will give not only because you are elevated souls, but you will also see your companions, the elevated souls, the powerful souls. Just take 2 seconds, imagining your day in this form with these experiences. And if you put your mind to be attentive, you will continue to add and deepen these tracks, these imprints, and based on the real self-respect, the beautiful transformation, and reaching and getting the highest potential in every single one of you. That will happen. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Avatif. Luciana, a final word from you. What, in just 2 or 3 words, what gift would you like everyone that you feel might have been the biggest gift in your life that you would like others to be able to receive as well?
Not long ago, my mother came to me and just asked me, daughter, do you really feel that you are happy? And I paused for a second, and what I answered to her, it's what I'm going to answer to you. And I said, most important than happiness for me is that I got a meaningful life. So I want that everyone would, at the end of the day and at the end of their journey in life, could really say, my life was meaningful.
And Elizabeth, a similar question to you? Something that has been so valuable in your life, you'd like others to receive it too?
As I gain happiness, really I'm happy, and I wish every one of you never to look back at the negativity, but to look at the positive energy that we have learned here and practice it, and you will always remain happy, whether it is shining or raining, the clouds are there or not there, move on. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, before the next session, Elizabeth is going to lead us in a short reflective exercise, I think. Is that right? Thank you. Physical, that's it. Do we need us to stand up, do we?
I will request you all to stand up as you have been sitting and sitting. And what I'm going to request you is, imagine there is a big basket in front of you, a basket, okay? And then our Mother Earth has given us so many beautiful flowers. So we are going to pluck them, pick them, and put in the basket. And after that, I will request you to lift it and or to take a handful of it and shower to the nature. And the next, you return it to Mother Earth. And the last, you shower it to yourself because you are so important and unique. Okay, you are going to do that. Okay, now you pluck the flowers, pluck, pluck, with both hands, huh? Everybody, pluck, pluck, pluck. Put it on the basket. Again, pluck from all sides. They are beautiful. Pluck, pluck, put it in the basket. Now beautiful roses, get them from different corners. Put it in the basket. And now, take the handful of or mix them first. Mix, mix. Everybody mix, mix. Okay, take a handful. Shower to the element. Shower, 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 shower. All over, all over, all over. Okay, then again go back. Handful. Shower to the Mother Earth. Shower, 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 shower. The last one and the most important one is for you. All the basket now. Pick the whole basket. Whole basket. Shower on yourself. Shower, shower. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was wonderful. And now that we're invigorated by flower shower, it's the power of flower shower. So now we have a dance for you from two beautiful dancers from our Om Shanti Retreat Center in Gurugam. BK Vidatri. And she's been in Raj Yoga for 10 years. She has a dedicated life now in service at the retreat center. And she has a degree in electronics and communication engineering. Yes. And BK Varnika is also a Raj Yogi since 10 years. And she works as a mechanical engineer, working as an assistant manager with India Oil Corporation. And now they are going to express the beauty of meditation with a lovely song, Wo Baba Mera Hai. Om Shanti.
वो मेरा बाबा है
Thank you, Sister Vidatri and Sister Varnika. That was beautiful. Wasn't that fun? You want to come up and dance, don't you? So now we would like to honor some special guests who are in the audience with some flowers. So if you, when I call your name, if you could please stand up. Ms. Goreti from Brazil, the dancer from Brazil. Goreti, where are you? And we can wait. Okay, she's getting ready. And then Mr. Satish Goyal, an industrialist from Jharkhand. Thank you, Mr. Goral. Yes, please. Thank you so much for being here with us. And this is Sister La from Thailand, giving the bouquet to Mr. Satish Goyal. And Mr. David Kilwaski from Australia, and we're surprising him with a bouquet. And he's been giving this divine sounds and music for us, so please give him a big hand. David is an artist as well, and a fine musician and songwriter. And Sister Moira from Argentina presented him the flowers. And do we have our dancer from Brazil? She's coming. Okay. Mr. Rakesh Mehta, where are you? Yes, Mr. Rakesh Mehta, former Chief Secretary of Delhi. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. And Mrs. Pramila Sirivastava, Chief Editor, New Delhi Times. Please stand. Oh, she's over here. Thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you enjoyed. And Sister Moira is coming with the bouquet. Om Shanti, thank you. And Goreti Dunningham, where are you? There she is, she got her flowers. Okay, there she is, thank you. Wasn't that a beautiful dance that she did for us? And now, I'm very happy to introduce this speaker, and she's a world-renowned spiritual speaker who has transformed millions of lives with her inspirational, life-changing talks. She has been on screen in India, USA, UK, Asia Pacific, Africa, and Australia, and is well known for the TV program Awakening with the Brahma Kumaris. And you know of whom I'm speaking, BK's sister, Shivani. And if I could add, because as you know, she's traveled a lot and has given programs and talks and radio programs around the world. And recently, just last year, she had toured North America, and I had the opportunity to be with Sister Shivani on her tour, and I just wanted to give a personal note that she's the real deal. She really walks her talk, and she's quite serious about her practice. And what I really appreciated is she didn't take time to reach out and get to know you. And I'm sure you feel that too. So please welcome BK Sister Shivani.
Om Shanti. Let's take a minute to talk to ourselves. Throughout the day, we meet a lot of people. we wish each one good morning, good afternoon. We ask them, how are you feeling today? Is everything okay? And Raj Yoga says, take a minute every hour or 2 hours, just stop and ask yourself, how are you feeling? Is everything okay? Is everything okay? So that I do not carry any kind of disturbance from an hour to the next hour. And definitely not to the next day. And definitely not to the next year. And definitely not to the next lifetime. If I pause after every hour and check how I'm feeling, and if there's something to change, then I change that. If we don't pause to talk to ourselves, to love ourselves, to accept ourselves, then we seek all that from other people. We want others to love us, to respect us, to accept us, because we believe that they will love us, we will love them. They will respect me, I will respect them. They will accept me, I will accept them. They will trust me, I will trust them. So we thought it was all about I will do for them and they will do for me. And Raj Yoga teaches us that in order to create a beautiful relationship with another soul, it will only begin when I start creating a beautiful relationship with myself. And how can we create a relationship with someone? How does a relationship start between any two people? How does it start? Hanji? Exchange of energy. How do we get to know each other? We spend time, we talk to them, we are there for them when they are in pain, when they are in problem. We don't say to them, I don't have time for you because I'm very busy completing my project. Do we say that to someone? We will leave everything that we're doing and pause to be with them. But do we leave everything and pause to be with ourselves when we are in pain? We let this mind cry and we're too busy with our work. And over a period of time, we have started accepting that the crying of this mind is normal, because we never paused to silence that mind. So let's take a moment, just ask yourself, what are my 5 beautiful qualities? Mine, specific, individual. What are my 5 beautiful qualities? And what are my 3 need to change? Need to change. 5 lovely qualities which I have and I will use them more and more. And 3 little things which I need to change. But I need to check myself, not based on what other people say about me. Can we check ourselves? Yes? Take a moment, intuitively see what the mind gives you the answer. Just leave the question on the mind and pause and wait for the answer. What are my 5 beautiful qualities which I can use with everyone, always? And what are the 3 things I need to change? A minute with yourself. In the way I think, feel and behave. What are my qualities which make me feel nice and which make others feel nice? What is it about me which increases my power, which empowers others around me. What is it about me? What is it about me which radiates into the world and raises the frequency of the energy where I am? What about me? I use this quality with everyone and always. It's my quality. It's who I am. I know it about myself. And what is that little thing I need to change, which depletes me, depletes the energy of people around me, and depletes the vibration where I am? What about me creates that disturbance? Do I know? What is it about me that creates a discomfort in energy? Om Shanti. How many of you were able to see your qualities? Those who've come to for the first time to a BK program, would you like to share? Just a word, one word, my quality. Anybody? Yes, from where you are, you don't need a mic, just say it out. One word, quality. One word, quality. Peaceful. Anything else? So peaceful always? Not right now? Trying to be peaceful always. Very good. So peaceful. Anybody else? Honesty. Beautiful. Humility. Contented. Giver. So you're a giver always. Yes, brother? Compassion. Caring. Anything else? Hanji? You love yourself. Beautiful. Hanji? Helpful. Hanji? Responsibility. Believing in yourself. You're good to others. Cooperation. Wow. Sweetness. Humility. Look at how rich we are. This is how rich we are. Now, all that we have to do is, I am, so we fill in the blank and we put that word there. So caring, sharing, giving, compassionate, loving. Beautiful. Now we only need to add one more word after that. I am caring with everyone and always. Right? Right? Water. What is the quality of water? What is the quality of water? Hannah? So does it give its quality to everyone and always? Or does it say, this one is richer, I'll give it more. This one has come. This one didn't talk properly to me. This one was so sweet to me, more to them. This is not quality. This is, I am using my quality based on how the other person has been with me or how the other person is. My quality would mean who I am always and with everyone. Then it's my quality. If I'm using it on and off, then it is dependent on how other people are using their quality. So if you are kind to me, I am kind to you. If you are rude to me, and if you're something more than rude to me, why should I be kind to you? Why should I? Why should I? Why should I be kind to somebody who's more than rude to me? Why should I? Why should I? Because it's my quality. It's my sanskar. Let's say you walk into this hall or in any party or a meeting and you walk up to someone to wish them, to greet them, and they look at you and then they turn away. Didn't feel like talking to us. Now what will we do? Simple. Not very big quality. Simple. You walk in, walk up to somebody to wish them with already a smile on your face. They look at you and they do this and walk away. What will we do? Options? Options? Hanji? In the future, we will not talk to them. What will we do to them that time? Huh? You walk up to me and I just look here and I walk away. What will we do? Hanji? What are the options? One option, I turn that side. And you say, okay, I turn this side. आपको नहीं बात करनी तो मुझे भी नहीं बात करनी. ठीक है. The other option, they insulted me, so you start getting upset. And third option, third option, third option, third option, can you come up to me, tap me, wish me, smile at me and look at me even though I've looked at you and turned away? And whatever we are talking about is not while sitting in Sirifort. So, can we? Let's ask ourselves a question. Can I? Somebody looks at me, turns away, has seen me, not acknowledged me, downright rude. Can I go up to that person and be my authentic, normal self? Can I? Can I? How many feel, yes, I can? And how many feel, I will do that from today onwards? Arey, ye kya hua? Yes, I can. So many hands. And how many feel, I will do it? Very few hands. What do the rest want to do? Who stops us from doing that? Who stops us from doing that? Ego. So what does my ego say to me? What does my ego say to me? They didn't talk to you, so why should I? Now what happened because of this? Look at what happened to the world because of this one habit of copying people's behavior. So if one was rude, the other copied. And when I copy someone who has done a karma of a low frequency, what am I just doing to my own power? What am I just doing to my own power? Depleting it. Then I go there, somebody else does something which is of a lower frequency. I respond the same way. What do I do to my own power? Depleting it. So in a day, if I meet 5 people who have not behaved the right way with me, and I only copy them, so I have just consumed 5 infections today. Yes? So by evening, my soul power depleted. Next day, 5 more. Next day, 5 more. Next day, 5 more. Satyug became Kalyug. Only became because of that. If one would have turned away, and I would have gone and been my normal self, what would have I done to my soul power? Retained it, not depleted it because of someone else's behavior. And so the illness would have remained with how many people? 1. But because we copied it, we reacted the same way, then somebody else did something, I reacted the same way. Collectively, what did we start doing to our inner power? Depletion, depletion. Then how can I say that my quality is kindness, compassion, sharing, caring, helpful, loving, respectful? What happened that time when they turned away? What happened to my quality? What happened to my quality? So my quality is my value. It's what I am worth. Business magazines give us worth of people. So and so is worth so much. So and so is worth so much. And the worth that they give us is based on all that we have acquired in this lifetime. And because we started looking at those figures, we started believing that worth of people is dependent on what they have achieved. And this started when we were so small. And our parents said, good boy, good girl. And when we did something which was not right, bad girl, bad boy. And it was all based on performance. And since then, I, the soul, have ingrained here deep down in my belief system that I am good or I am bad depends on what people say about me. And I am good or I am bad depends on how I perform, what I achieve. So my self-worth, who I am, my self-value, my self-esteem became dependent on 2 things. 1, what I achieve, what I acquire, and 2, what people say about me. So if people say I'm good, very good. If people say no, then no. Just last week I was watching a video of a very, very, very popular TV program host. And she said, I have done more than 30,000 interviews globally. And she said, I have interviewed presidents of countries and prime ministers of countries and the who's and who, and she gave the names. And she said, I'm going to tell you a secret today. Every program, when it ends, in their own way, they ask me, was I good enough? And she said, they are achievers who are running the country, but they will ask me gradually, was I good enough? Was it okay? Was the program fine for you? Why do we need that approval? Why do we need that approval? Because we believe when other people say we were good is only when we are good. So who is evaluating my self-worth? Who's evaluating my worth? Other people. And other people means so many people. So many people are deciding what I am worth. Look at this chair that I'm sitting on. If today we were given the liberty to decide the cost of this chair, would we be able to come up with one price? Huh? Would we come up with different prices based on our perception, our choices, our likes and dislikes, our interest? So for somebody, this chair is not very good, so not even worth 500 rupees. For someone, it's a good, average chair, 2,000-3,000 rupees. For someone, it could be, oh, since I'm sitting on this chair, my backache is gone. It's priceless for me. I'll give anything to get this chair. Right? Same chair. Somebody says, I don't even want it. Even if you give it to me for free, I don't need it. Somebody says, average, 500. Somebody says, 2,000-3,000. Someone says, priceless. So who will decide the value of the chair? Okay, when somebody says, I don't need it even for free, when someone says 500, when someone says 5,000, when someone says priceless, are they all right? Are they all right? Are they all correct? Are they all telling the truth? Absolutely. Because they are going to give their perspective about the chair. Now, if the manufacturer of this chair had to set the cost of this chair based on public opinion, what would happen? What would happen? He'll never be able to decide the cost of this chair. And not only people who know about this chair is lying in the market, in the shop, and only people who are just crossing the shop, not even interested in buying the chair, even they come, give their opinion and walk away. Yes or no? And if the chair had to get affected by everybody's opinion, what would happen to the chair? What would happen to the chair? So what did the manufacturer do? He decides the value of the chair. And he set the value of the chair. And then he said, take it or leave it. This is the value of the chair. He didn't say, come and you decide what's going to be the value of the chair. So if people cannot decide the value of one chair, how are people supposed to decide my value, who I am? So somebody is going to say, useless, I don't need you. Somebody is going to say, theek hai, you're fine for 5 minutes a day. Somebody is going to say, I can manage with you an hour a day. And somebody is going to say, I would love to live my life with you. Who is right? Who's right? Jor se bolo, who is right? All are right. Very good. So from tomorrow, Monday morning, just create this one belief system. They are all right, because what they are feeling about me is not based on me, it is based on them. But I am getting affected because I'm thinking it's about me. So if somebody says that they cannot spend time with me, I'm feeling there's something wrong with me. If somebody chose not to work with me or not to live with me, I take it personally and I feel it's something to do with me. It's their choice. So who's going to decide my worth? Who's going to decide my worth? So let people give their opinion. Listen to their opinion for 10 seconds. Yes, sometimes it could be very useful. So take it, listen to it, useful, accept it, no. Thank you so much, lovely meeting you. And it doesn't mean disrespecting you. I absolutely respect your opinion. But your opinion reflects your sanskar. If somebody is very critical in nature, do the best of work and they will come and criticize it. If somebody is very appreciative in nature, do nothing and they will appreciate you. So it's not dependent on me, it is dependent on their sanskar. So who knows me best? And whose opinion do I have to take to know myself? Myself. But I never paused to ask myself, because I was always busy taking other people's opinion about me and trying to be what people want me to be so that people will say I'm a good person. Log kya kahenge? So today it's not even only about who I am, it is about everything that I do is based on getting public approval. People should approve of what I am doing, people should approve of who I am, because then I'm right. And just to get that public approval, we may be being or doing some things which are depleting soul power. Since when we were children, we started building an image of ourselves based on what our parents said. If the parents said, you are slow, so I thought I was slow. If the parents said, you are careless, I thought I was careless. If the parents said, you're very good, I thought I was very good. Because for a child, everything that the parent is saying is right. Just remember, rewind and go to when you had children. You introduced them to the world. You told your child, this is a table, this is flower, this is water, this is clock. We told the child. Until today they are calling this a table, this the flower, this water. And similarly we told them who they were. You are slow, you are clumsy, you are stupid, you are careless. You can do nothing. Look at other people. So like they believed that this is a table, this is flower, they also believed what we told them about them. The body has grown. Today that little child is 30, 40, 50, 60. But what they think about themselves is still based on what their parents and teachers said. And then we got so used to building our self-image because of what people said that even today we are taking people's opinion and creating an image of ourselves. And then one day, I walk into a Brahma Kumaris Raj Yoga center and get a direct message from him, and he says, you are a divine soul. And I was like, huh? No. He says, yes. I said, no. He says, yes. And then he says, now you start saying it every day to yourself. I am a divine soul. I'm a powerful soul. I'm a loveful soul. I'm a peaceful soul. I am a knowledgeful soul. And then he made us say it every day. Like as parents, we make a 2-year-old child say, Bolo, A, B, C. He made us say, Bolo, I am peaceful soul. I am powerful soul. So initially when we started doing, it was as good as saying A, B, C, D without understanding what was happening. A for apple, A for apple. No idea what is A, what is apple, but A for apple, A for apple. Similarly, I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a powerful soul, I'm a pure soul. And then, suddenly, you find those sanskars started emerging. Why? Because that is the sanskar of every soul, but we had forgotten who I am. And we were doing it only based on what people think about us. And what people thought about us was based on their sanskars. So people could be my parents, could be my teachers, who didn't know themselves. Definitely didn't know me. So through their acquired sanskars, they created my acquired sanskars. And then today we are creating the acquired sanskars of our children. And then God, the Supreme Power, the first gift that He gives to us is introduces us to ourselves. खुद को जाना, तभी खुदा को जान सकते हैं. And so like a parent introduces a child to himself, God started introducing us to ourselves. And when I start recognizing myself, creating my self-image all over again. So even if I was a very, very, very angry soul, I only started saying it like a parrot. Initially, I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a peaceful soul. And suddenly there was a stimulus and I didn't get angry. And I was like, wow, ye kab ho gaya? Didn't even realize that that little simple practice had already started changing sanskars. Had already started changing sanskars. So he helps us to know ourselves and to build our self-image all over again, which could sometimes be completely opposite of who we thought we were. So who am I? Now self-value. Who am I? Bolo bolo, bolenge tabhi banenge. Who am I? I'm a pure soul. My every thought, word, action, clean, selfless, only to give, want nothing from anybody. Not judgmental about anyone. Koi mail nahi, ekdam saaf. I'm not going to keep anybody's sanskars here because I'm a pure, clean, divine soul. So even if I have a sanskar which is opposite of who I actually am, I only start reminding myself who I am, and then that sanskar which was merged will start emerging. So if I already have a quality, what do I have to do to my quality? I say I am always and with everyone. That's one. So if it's an already existing quality, I only add the word always and with everyone. And if it's the opposite, the ones which I needed to change, then I see what's the quality. Anyone wants to share what they wanted to change? One word? Change? Anger? Simple. I'm a peaceful soul. Anything else? Procrastination? I am an accurate, disciplined soul. I do everything that I choose to do before time. Criticism, I appreciate everyone and accept everyone as they are. Ego, I am a humble soul. Negative, I am a positive soul. Hanji? Emotional, I am a powerful soul. Repetitive, what's the meaning of repetitive? You think everything too over and over again. So overthinking. You're saying everything again. So then I will say to myself, I say everything only once. So you got the technique of doing it? Huh? So what I want to be, I create a thought, I am, fill in the blank, always and with everyone. And then that becomes our first step of meditation. Every morning, I am, always and with everyone. And then visualize that value in action. And second step of Raj Yoga is, then when we connect to Him, who is a source of unconditional love and acceptance. So when He loves and accepts us unconditionally, then to be able to love ourselves becomes very simple, and then to love and accept others becomes a natural way of living. So everyone's found the antidote of what to change? Everybody? Anyone still doesn't have the answer? Lazy? Now you tell me, what's opposite of lazy? I'm energetic, vibrant, enthusiasm. Hanji? Selfish? I'm selfless. Shouting? Doubting? I trust everyone as they are. Hanji? Looking at defects of others, I accept each one as they are. Timid? I am strong, powerful, energetic. Chalo, 1 minute silence. And now let's do that for ourselves, creating our self-image all over again. Doesn't matter what people said about me. Doesn't matter what people think about me. He loves me. And He has introduced me to myself. He knows me as I am. I am a divine being. My every thought is selfless, is forgiving to others. I need nothing from them. I only give and give and give. I accept each one as they are. I understand they carry different sanskars, different choices, different opinions, different perspectives. I accept them as they are. My every word is a blessing for them. My every word is a blessing for them. I radiate love and respect. It is who I am. Independent of who they are or what they did, it is who I am. Past is past, it's over. New beginning. New me. I am a powerful soul. I choose, create, and do what I decide. I am a powerful soul. Unaffected by opinions and perspectives. I take advice and feedback, but I know myself well. My every thought, word and behavior raises my frequency and raises the vibration of everyone around me. And together we raise the vibration of this world. next 20 minutes while we are going home. Let's spend this time with ourselves in silence, talking to ourselves, forgiving those who may have said or done something which was not right for me. It was their choice, their perspective. Cleaning my mind and intellect of anything that I'm holding on to. Their opinion, their expectations of me. I bring out the best in me. God is now using me to create a beautiful new world. He has chosen me. I am a powerful soul, and I can be in silence for 20 minutes while I drive home. Willpower. We will now move out in silence, walking, driving like angels on the road. And every movement of ours also radiates a vibration. Absolute silence. My mind is silent. My body is calm. This is power. This is increasing my spiritual power.
And as you walk out as angels, I hope that you can join us this evening at 5:30. Sister Shivani will be with us this evening. The foreign guests and speakers will be here as we embark on our journey to bring our vision into a reality. And for those of you who will be here this afternoon, we have a cultural program of dance, song, magic, and that will be from 2:30 to 5:30 here in the auditorium. We also want to thank our artist, Vinay Hedge, for his wonderful cosmic splash. And thank you all for being here and being part of the vision for the future world that we want. Om Shanti. Please continue to depart as angels.
ओम शांति। आप सबको एक इन्फॉर्मेशन देनी है। अभी आफ्टरनून में 3 बजे से हमारा कल्चरल प्रोग्राम है, सो आप सब आकर के उसको एंजॉय कीजिए 3 बजे से लेकर के और 4:30 बजे तक। बहुत अच्छा कल्चरल प्रोग्राम है आज। You are requested to please join for the cultural program from 3 to 4:30. It's a beautiful cultural program. Thank you very much.